everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we're here to talk about the Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. So let's get into it. Good morning or good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I have read. So today, as I said, we are talking about the Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams, and this is a reread for me. But the reason that I am reading this and I have suggested it as the book of the month over on my Discord is because the members get to pick what the books we're going to be reading. So each month on the 20th of the month I put everybody's name onto a wheel, and of course you can still join in the fun because we'll be spinning up every month for the year. We put a notice up, I think it was in December we put a notice up, and a few people put their names down and their favourite genre. I add them to the wheel, I spin it up, and lucky me, I spun up for this month and I chose historical fiction, and I thought, you know what, we're going to go back and have a bit of a reread of the Dictionary of Lost Words because I loved it so much in 2021 that I just felt I needed to reread it, and everybody else should read it too. So there's a few people reading it at the moment. They're really enjoying it. A few people have actually already read it just recently as well. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. Even though it was a reread for me, I really did enjoy it. All right, so I've got some notes here on things that I want to talk about. I don't know how coherent they're going to be because I have a lot of thoughts, and we'll try and get it on video. All right, so this book was, as I said, I read it in 2021, and it was also published in 2021. It's got 424 pages. It is a historical fiction. It has some factual things in it as well, centered around the creation of the Oxford English Dictionary, the very first one. And so I think the timeline starts, there is a mention of 1897, I think it is, and then it goes into the 1900s. No, actually, sorry, it's in the 1870s, and then it goes into, and then it proceeds into the 1900s. Sorry about that. So yeah, so that's sort of where it's starting. And so there are a few characters that are actually that were part of the Oxford Dictionary, and that is all listed in the back of the book. There's even photos of the there's even a photo in the back of the book, which I'll just find for you, of the people that were involved in it. And that was just before the gentleman sitting down with the long beard. This photo was taken just before he passed away, 2 weeks before he passed away. So yeah, so there are timeline facts in the back of it, and I have this on audio as well, and I did a bit of both with this this rereading, and it has a few different thanks and all that sort of stuff, and then a timeline of the Oxford Dictionary is also in the back, and it also tells you who those people are and all that sort of stuff, and it does that on the audio book as well. I did double check that because sometimes they don't. On the audiobooks, you don't get the acknowledgements and you don't get any of the extra bits and pieces. It might be a PDF that comes with the audiobook, but this one actually reads it out to you. So you're not missing out on any of that information that is in the back of the book. So if you want to listen to it, go for it. It's a really good, it is a really good audiobook. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it when I did listen to it. As I said, I did both. I was reading it and then I didn't want to stop reading it, so I started listening to it. And it'll probably be another one that years down the track that I'll re-listen to as well with my husband, because I think he'll get a kick out of it. Even though he's a bit of a dystopian and sci-fi, he doesn't mind listening to some things like this. So yeah, hopefully he'll enjoy it as well. So basically, as I said, this is a reread for me, but I'll give you a little bit of what it's about. The novel's centered around the creation of the Oxford English Dictionary, the very first edition. So there is a young girl that is in the scriptorium, or the scrippy as it's called throughout the book. Her father works there and she's hiding under the table. So all these words are coming in from everywhere, and they're taking note of what they are. There's also people that are telling them where they've read it and all that sort of stuff, and then there's researchers that go and research it. So we're at the Bodleian Library and as well, so we're in and out of that, but Esme is the main character of the book. as is the Oxford Dictionary, because she is intrigued by all the words that are coming in, and she pretty much is learning everything she knows about the word and the written language from being under the table and listening and watching and learning and all that sort of stuff. And subsequently words get left out of the dictionary or they fall on the floor, and then she grabs them, puts them in her pocket, and she started squirreling them away. And so it's sort of touching on why they're left out and all that sort of stuff. And then as she gets a little bit older, there's another character called Lizzie. Now, she's the maid for the Murrays, I believe, but she also looks after, she calls her Essie May. She also looks after her, feeds her, makes sure that she stays out of trouble and all that sort of stuff, while her father is working at the scriptorium. Now, Esme doesn't have a mum. Her mum passed away, and so her father is trying to raise her the best that he can. And there's Dita, who is another character in the book, is her auntie, I believe, and he writes to her often and she's also part of the dictionary as well. She's sending words in with their meanings and all that sort of stuff. And there's a little bit of factual stuff about her as well, and there's a book that's mentioned, which I cannot remember, the Dragoon's Wife, I think it is, that was published in the early 1900s. That was actually a publication. So yeah, there's a lot of little facts dribbled out throughout it, but the fictional story of Esme is the main thing that they're focusing on. So after a while, she realizes that these words are going to be lost, and a lot of them are quite interesting words and all that sort of stuff. So you're going on her journey learning about them, and then she gets in trouble for a word that goes missing, and Lizzie gives her a description of the word, and that sort of sets her on this path to basically go down the road of getting the words that women use in like the common people, because like marketeers and maids and servants and all that sort of stuff, they have words that they use in their day-to-day life, and she sort of goes on a quest to get those words. Now, be warned that the C word, see you next Tuesday, you can work that out, is in this by a character, a very funny character, Mabel. She's very crass. She's dirt poor. She makes these carvings and all the rest of it. And she likes to see the reactions of people. I would find her someone that would just throw something out there just to see what your reaction was. And that's how she sort of comes across in the book. I find that all these side characters and everything, they're all in there and they all bring the story to life. But Esme and Lizzie are probably the two main ones that we hear about, because Lizzie is like her companion, and then like it also brings in like a lot of real life and the other people that she meets, like the actors, and because she starts going to the theatre and she hears words there and she takes them down. She's always scribbling down these notes, and there's also some life stories in there and challenges and obstacles that she has to overcome, and choices that she has to make that is just heart-wrenching. Like every time, like it made me cry in the first one and it made me cry in this one as well. Like, so it's a good book if it's making me cry. But yeah, Lizzie is sort of her constant companion and is sort of encouraging her and takes her down into the market and all this sort of stuff, and gives the explanation, and then and it just goes on from there. And it's just a really good, wholesome sort of story, apart from the few little bits and pieces in there that are a little bit, okay, didn't see that coming at all. But it's a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love going on Esme's journey and getting this this dictionary of lost words together, and eventually how it comes to be and how it's presented to her. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, like she meets the love of her life and the tragedy behind that, and yeah, so it makes you feel the feels and all the rest of it. But I just really liked the idea behind it, that someone took the time I mean, nowadays we've got the internet, and you know, you can go to the Urban Dictionary and all that sort of stuff, and find out meanings of words that are in everyday vernacular and all that sort of stuff. But back then there wasn't anything like that, and the premise behind this is just very intriguing. It would have been good to see something like that, of all the words that were used by the common people, the everyday people, and mostly women is who she focuses on, and what they use their language for, and whatnot. So it was a really good read, and I thoroughly enjoyed revisiting it. If you haven't read it, please pick it up. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. And just the whole thing behind as readers, we are, you know, infatuated with words and whatnot, and just the whole behind the creation of the Oxford Dictionary that sprinkled out made it a really good read as well. But I gave it I think I gave it a 5-star reading, and I'm going to stick with that. It's a 5-star reading for me. I find that her writing is really good. I love her writing, Pip Williams' writing. I really gelled with it and whatnot. The only thing that I would say is that it's not a fast-paced book by any means. And some people might find it a little bit frustrating that it is a slow-paced book and want it just to move on a little bit quicker. But believe me, it is well worth it. And some people might find it a little bit, how you going, like with all the words and like a bit of the swearing that's in there, that particular word. It's only in there for a brief moment in time. And some of the plots, like some of the things that were happening in the background I felt they were a little left open. And they weren't developed as much as they could have been. Like, I think they could have went a little bit further. It probably, you know, but, you know, that's the author's choice not to do that, I guess. I just found it a little bit frustrating that there wasn't more detail and stuff like that. But overall, it is a brilliant book, and I absolutely loved it. And, you know, the book is set in, it's set so well that you feel like you're there. Like, you can I felt like I could just reach out and touch the characters. I could reach out and pick up a slip with the words on it, you know. And just even the research that would have went into it was, I found that to be very interesting and thought-provoking and whatnot. So if you have yet to subscribe, please do hit that subscribe button for more great content like this, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up down below. But that's it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and as always, keep turning those pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.